happy Easter to all who celebrate, and welcome to my vlog for the week of April 3rd, 2023. So, as I mentioned last week, I have a few craft fairs and shows and exhibitions coming up starting in May. There are some in April which I did not sign up for because I did not think I could have enough products ready to take to such a show. So, and if there are 10 ideas, maybe one executes 5 of them, and of those 5, maybe only 1 or 2 turn out to be okay, and then maybe one sells or not. So there's no telling, but at least you go prepared, hoping that the work that you have chosen to take with you are worthy of showing, and that it speaks to somebody, right? So in that line, I finished this painting. I'm going to move my candle up a little bit, and it smells so good from that what do you Palo Santo. It smells so good, and the sage. And this is one of the paintings. This is a 12 by 12 that I finished. I think I finished. I mean, I still have to seal it and all, but I'm not quite there yet. There are other things in the works, and like I mentioned, I'm going to batch seal them. So that is one. And here's the one. I kept the bluish light cobalt background because I'm not 100% sure if that was the best background color choice. I do love how the flowers turned out, but the background, I just made peace with it because I like the color, just not sure if this was the best background. I just didn't want all of my backgrounds to be off-white, or a light yellow kind of thing. And here's my sunflower. I had a great time painting this one. This one went a little quicker than the tulips, and I love sunflowers. Sunflowers, I think, are one of my top favorite flowers to look at, and hyacinth and lilac are the two that I love because of their fragrance. And there are many, many, many other flowers that I also love. And I love peonies for how they look. And like all around here, there are so many forsythias in bloom wherever you turn, and the cherry blossoms are coming on. This is what makes living in cold New Jersey worthwhile. It lasts a very short time, but it is beautiful. So that and these are both 8 by 10s. Yeah, so those two I have completed. What else did I do? This last week was very busy, and then I put a lot of time into spring cleaning. Like starting Thursday night, I did Thursday night through Saturday night. Like my body still aches from all the cleaning and the moving and making sure, moving meaning moving things out. Like that I did not do some creative reorganizing and packed more stuff in, because I tend to do that. So from the outside it would look like, oh, it's pretty okay, neat and clean, but it would be very hard to remember where things are, because no matter how obvious those choices feel like when I'm doing the reorganizing, I do not have 100% memory, and I don't think anybody can remember if they have packed things in that manner unless they have an immensely awesome cataloging system, which I do not have. It would be hard to locate things down the line, which is what I have found. And obviously, I buy, and I think it applies to all of us, we tend to buy more than fits, more than we will ever use. And we sometimes it ends up being squished in time. So I end up with those phases where I have more stuff than I have space for. And clearly, what I have found, and this is just speaking for myself, if I say paint 10 canvases for anything, and of those 10, maybe if it's a very good day, maybe 3, 4, even 5 sell. But now I'm left to take care of the 5 that didn't sell, that may never sell. But things that are not, I'm still attached enough to them that I can't throw them away. Or feels like a waste to just throw it away. And then a time comes when there are 5 of one show left, 3 of another, and it becomes kind of a hodgepodge. And you don't know what to do with them. But yeah, so that comes, I suppose, with the territory of the business, with the level of artist that I am. There may be artists who sell out when people hear they're starting a new painting, and must be wonderful to be there. But I'm not that person. So it is what it is, and finding that balance is delicate. And yeah, that's what that is. And so other than that, what have I done? Oh, I continue to read. I'm almost at the end of this book, and I paused after reading for some time. I paused and looked back at what was being said, because when you read books like this, the authors from their own experiences would tell you, listen, you have to price higher. And you may pause to think, okay, at the price that I have, if things are not moving as fast as I would like them to, would it not be counterintuitive to raise the prices? And this book answers some of those questions. And my takeaway from however far I got into the book, my takeaway at this point is, yes, the book is telling you, or this book or any other book in these lines would tell you that, yes, you have to price higher, but the block to that is not so much in the outer world as it is inside the artist. It's the matter of worth, self-worth. And that is not something you read in a book and you decide, I'm going to go and confidently be able to charge $200 for something that I was charging $150 for, or maybe even less. That comes with a confidence in yourself that you know that your time is invaluable. Time doesn't come back. And yes, the joy of doing the work, and the potential joy that it can bring to those that see you do the work or see the work finished, having the confidence to value those to the extent that would help you make it a living, make it a viable career option, doesn't just come from reading books or listening. Yes, over time, by repeatedly reading the right kind of encouraging books, listening to the appropriate podcasts that keep your mindset steady, investing in a coach, and all of those things, some accountability on your end, and putting all of those things together, it is a matter of personal development, reaching a certain level of personal development where you would feel bold enough to walk away if the price isn't right for you. But that is not something that comes in one day from one book, one podcast, one episode, one spark. And you may feel when I say you, I'm probably speaking more about myself than anybody else. And with that encouragement, and yeah, I'm all hyped and I raise a price and it doesn't sell, or somebody tells me your stuff is overpriced, not to back down internally. I don't have to get into an argument with that person. And nobody has ever said. And when things sell readily, that makes me wonder, should I have asked for more? And one thing I have noticed, and I do not have a whole ton of experience in this manner, but people who come, who connect with the art before them, do not question. They are there, they know what they want, they are there to buy. It's very much like when I shop and it may seem like a higher ticket item, and yet I have no question, no doubt about wanting to own that item, whatever that be. But it is when, and I do not question when I go to the grocery, I don't question the price they have, right? I pay that price because it's a necessity. And even that's how it works for me. And then when it is a higher ticket, more luxury item, that also kind of that, like, this needs to be a part of my life. And I have no question. So looking for a cheaper price only comes for those items that I haven't somehow connected with. I don't know if this makes any sense, but yeah, so those who connect with the art, that mine or another person's, they do not hesitate, they do not question, they do not ask for a discount. They ask, the conversations I have had have been more about them asking me about my inspiration, my process, my philosophies, my values, me as a person, getting to know me as the maker of that piece of art, rather than, oh, I could do that, maybe thankfully, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Maybe that is something in my vibe. People who do not want to pay my prices do not come to me. They do not come and haggle. And that is a blessing. They come if they want to come, and not everybody can. I cannot buy every piece of art that I admire, I would love to have in my life. But if that price is beyond my ability to pay at that given moment, I would still stop by, admire the artwork, and walk away, and not disrespect the maker by haggling for a cheaper price. I will come if I can. I'll come back when I'm ready. If I'm sure that I want to buy that piece of art, but I do, and they are only taking cash, and I don't have the cash, I would ask them to hold that piece of art and tell them that I'll be back in half hour and I'll be with the cash. I've done that. But, other than that, you don't have to lower your prices to fit everybody's needs. And with that, you have to accept, again, you, meaning you and me, not so, I don't know how much about you, but fully about me, just to accept that it is not going to be in everybody's range. And that's okay. When I used to, I have taught for a very long time. I have taught for the last 18 years. And I had taught at places where people wanted the cheapest class. And I was a beginner. And I just wanted the experience of teaching. And then there were people who wanted something more from the class. And they were not looking for a cheaper class. And I have learned a lot that I feel has grown me as a human being. Life experiences that have grown me as a human being. I have grown and understood more about myself, like when something felt right, when something did not feel right, and when something I didn't feel right and I still pushed for it. All of those things. Learning, growing. In teaching you learn, and in learning you teach. So that is that. And yes, it is all more about when you are able to apply what's written in books, this book or another book like this, is, it is a journey of personal development more than just growing a business. Because if you grow, everything connected to you grows. And if you are shrinking, you can only put up pretenses for so long. So that is something that is a profound realization, at least profound for me. And yeah, I'm still going to finish reading the technicalities of the book. This is not so much of a step-by-step technique kind of book. At least I haven't gotten to that part, but it is more about the principles and philosophies that helps you grow as an artist who then can run a business better. So that, and I am going to watch one of my all-time favorite movies, which is The Adventures of Tintin, and that's the goal for after lunch today. And what else is happening? Okay, I made a list. We didn't have a snow this season. We did not have enough snow days, so the school had 2 extra days, and the kids got this Monday off, which is fabulous. And then my next week is very, very full. There is a lot that needs to be done, lot on the calendar, and things come up last second as well, as like anybody else. And what else is happening? I have been invited to teach at a paint and sip event. Now, I have not taught fine arts. I have taught mixed media art. So this is a new thing for me. It is kind of they are expecting a little more than, what a standard, maybe a paint party is like. They are expecting a little more. And yeah, so that is kind of a new learning thing for me. I have completed a few paintings because they haven't given any directives as to we wanted this or we wanted that. They just left it to me to decide. And once I finished the paintings, I realized that I had worked on that painting for 4 or 5 hours, and the people who are going to come to the class are probably are not able to, or do not usually spend that much of time in a painting. And I need to be able to make it simpler. And this is all happening in my head, and I haven't come up on the final painting that I can show the people who are inviting, that this is what I have in my mind. So that is something I am like wading through and trying to understand. What is something that I can finish painting satisfactorily, hopefully in under an hour, and then be able to teach it to a group of 25 or so, so that they can finish their paintings in 2 hours and go home satisfied. Yeah, wish me luck. This is a new venture for me. Okay, so on the health front, so when I didn't hear back from anybody till about this Thursday, the 6th, I called the doctor's office again and asked them like, hey, what's happening? I'm feeling a little anxious at this point. And they were like, listen, we haven't heard back from the radiologist's office. So I said, okay, give me the radiologist's number. And I called their office, and it appeared after a lot of holding, close to a half an hour of phone conversation with over 20 minutes of holding, they found it. And because my fear was something had gone awry in the process of the specimen going to the lab, and maybe they would need to do one more. And thankfully it's not that, but there was some pathology that the radiologist wanted more looking into, and after all of that had been exhausted, thankfully for now the results came back benign. But I would be like, they just put you on a high alert, and I'm dealing with this since I was 29 years old, and which was the pathology even at that time was abnormal for that age, and the pathology now is abnormal for the age that I am at right now. But everybody's doing whatever needs to be done. It's not pleasant, but at least for today I breathe easier knowing that the reports were benign. So that being that, what else is happening? Okay, so the tracker for last month, I finished it here, and this is April, and I am going to fill my tracker. So here are the pens I have, and I am going to fill my creativity tracker and my meditation tracker. So I was creative on, actually, except for the sixth morning I was. 7th and 8th I couldn't do. I didn't even try to get myself busy with making anything because I was spring cleaning. Did I meditate? I don't even. Like, micro moments. It hasn't been like, a sit down of 5 minutes, but there I have tried to do micro moments. Like when I was cleaning and it felt overwhelming. Every time I clean, I promise myself I'm not gonna buy any more. And then, that's not how it goes. It's just balancing the input and the output that is sometimes challenging. But I did take a moment or two here and there throughout my day in like meditative stillness, silence, or prayer in some way. I am widening my definition of meditation very much this week. But yes, I have taken those micro moments, just, sometimes a few deep breaths. If I cannot do it ritualistically, at least I'm going to do it any which way I can. And that is true for making art, that is true for everything. So after I'm done vlogging, before I start editing, I'm going to eat lunch, and this evening I have to cook dinner, and that would give me easy passage through hopefully Tuesday. Oh, so before I finish off for today, I want to ask you, if you were to go to a paint and sip event, what kind of painting would you like to paint? Like, would it be something of a landscape or something else? If you would please share in the comments, that would be very helpful for me. And thank you in advance for that. And alright, so I will see you next Sunday with my vlog for the coming week. Bye.